Today we have a big driver head-to-head in the form of the new TaylorMade Qi35 Max driver against the new Ping G440 Max. Okay, so two of the leading brands in the industry, two of the leading drivers. These two are the Max heads. So this driver is designed for forgiveness. So generally those golfers looking for ultimate forgiveness off the off-center hits, looking for a tight dispersion. So all the tech is around forgiveness and getting that dispersion nice and tight. Okay, both companies, again, both drivers are slightly different when it comes to the tech. TaylorMade are all around getting this heavy 29 gram weight at the back of the head, CG as far back as they can to increase that MOI. Remember, it's all about that 10k MOI from that Qi10. It's now been brought into this Qi35. G440, we know how forgiving these drivers are. Certainly its predecessors, the 425, the 430, recently tested this Max head, incredibly forgiving as well. Again, similar sort of tech, trying to get that CG back, get that MOI nice and high. From a tech standpoint, they've both got the adjustable sleeve, okay, so you can move that loft around and that face around. But for me, there's a tick to Ping here because they have the adjustable weight, okay, so you can make it draw, neutral and fade. I like that option when it comes to that. If we were to go for the looks, for me, TaylorMade wins it. You know, I love that sort of carbon crown. We know sort of this Max head has the carbon crown as well, but looks wise, I do prefer the TaylorMade, okay? But today is about performance. Let's see which one is the most forgiving, and we're going to start off with the TaylorMade Qi35 Max. As I said, looks wise, I think TaylorMade have done a fantastic job with this. I think it looks great. Obviously last year they had the polished black head. I love this carbon crown finish to it. I think it looks fantastic. So let's hit a few shots. Let's see how forgiving this is. Yeah, so that felt a little high off the face, but it's gone relatively straight. Not the longest. If anything, in that playing position, for me, it's whether you think it's a good or a bad thing. It is a big footprint. You can see how it's so stretched back in that playing position. So some people would like that because it'll give you that ease of confidence that's quite easy to hit. Other people might think actually it's a little bit big on the eye. I don't particularly mind it. That felt solid. Yeah. What you'll probably see here, that the spin's a touch high because that's kind of what it's for. With that CG so far back, it is designed to be a little bit higher spinning. But I know TaylorMade have worked hard. They're in this carbon era, and you know, I think this is the fourth carbon head, Stealth 2, and then obviously the Qi10, now Qi35. They've worked hard on the forgiveness, and we are seeing that, you know, it does feel a lot more forgiving than its predecessors. Felt solid. Yeah, that was a good hit. Decent number there, 282 total. Again, we've got very similar shafts here, 60 grams stiff and 65 grams stiff in the Ping, so very similar. 10.5 loft. That felt solid again. Yeah, really good. The great thing here, they're all pretty straight. Not the longest on the first sort of 2 or 3, but very straight. Okay, so if you are looking for accuracy, this feels like a good fit so far. Yeah, just pulled that one a touch. That felt good. Nice and straight. Yeah, 285, nice and straight. Spin number's pretty good as well there, 2.2. Okay, I'm just going to try one more with the TaylorMade, then get into the Ping. Yeah, good. Yeah, super impressed with that. Very forgiving, pretty straight. I'll be interested to see the numbers at the end. It felt really solid. Okay, so now into this Ping G440 Max. We know how forgiving the Ping Max range tends to be. Excited to try this. As I said earlier, I like this sort of movable weight. It gives you a little bit more flexibility when it comes to fitting. what Ping are saying this year, they've got a hotter and thinner face. So I can't imagine it's going to be much more forgiving than that Qi35 Max, but I might be proved wrong. But this might be able to get a bit more yardage. Okay, so if we can maintain good forgiveness and get a bit more yardage, potentially this could win it, this Ping 440 Max. So let's hit a few with this. Looks wise, we're obviously used to the look of the Ping, aren't we now? Got the turbulators, they've added this carbon crown, and it looks good in that playing position. Yeah, I actually prefer the sound of that, I must admit. Ping have worked hard on the acoustics well over the last couple of models. 425 wasn't great, the 430, and this is getting better and better. I do like the sound of this club. Yeah, felt good. Again, nice and straight. Similar spin there at 2.5. I think in the playing position there, it doesn't feel quite as kind of big and bulky as the Qi35. I actually prefer that. Felt solid. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, nice and straight. I think this is going to be close, guys. I think both feel really good. This just feels a little bit more solid off the face, but there's not a lot in it at all. Good hit. But interestingly enough, the distance, I actually think it feels like it's a touch shorter than the TaylorMade so far. I mean, that one felt really solid, but it's only got to 2.8 to 279. But we will see. It feels really nice. Felt good again. It feels so stable. Nice and straight, 280. Yeah, what we're seeing so far, it's just incredibly easy to hit. And we see that, don't we, in the Ping range. Very, very easy to hit. Okay, so just looking at the dispersion rings here, the smallest circle out of the two is the Ping G440, but in truth, both very, very good. The key thing on both of these, what you can see is the front to back is very small, so it's saying these off-center hits now are so much more reduced than previous models where you would find them sort of dropping off. These are much tighter to the average, which is great. And now into the numbers. So from left to right, we've got the club speed, both very similar, isn't it? They're about 105. Getting a little bit more out of the Ping there, 152.7 to 151.5. Launch and spin similar, in and around 15 and 2.5 with the spin. Height very similar, and just getting a little bit more yardage out of the Ping, carrying 260 compared to 256.6 with the TaylorMade. Finishing at 280, finishing at 278, so not a huge amount in the total. But the interesting thing you want to look at there is in the total column, you'll see plus or minus 4.1 yards with the Ping and plus or minus 6.9 yards with the TaylorMade. So Ping winning in terms of a forgiveness point of view from front to back. But in truth, both of them 4 yards and 7 yards, very good. But Ping certainly wins it from a forgiveness standpoint. So all in all, guys, not a huge amount between them, both incredibly forgiving drivers. If we had to pick one, well, based on a little bit more distance and a tiny bit more forgiveness and that added feature of the adjustable weight on the back, the Ping G440 Max wins this head-to-head.